is more deserving of a team, of a basketball team, because I play.
Relocate, more deserving? See, that was your problem, my brother. You played in New Orleans, but you didn't become one with New Orleans. You never got to know New Orleans. You just collected a check in New Orleans. Well, we got you, though. Yeah. Yeah, them haters clap. Now we clapping back. Check them standings out. We one of the best. We know the build. We know the strong. We 504. We prove you wrong. From worst to first. Just watch us work. We won't bow down. You hating still. We turned around. So what's the deal? We Pelican Nation. New Orleans proud. New Orleans proud. It's Pelican Nation. New Orleans proud. It's Pelican Nation. Yeah. Watch your mouth when you speak about us. Because you don't know about us. Keeping it real, who that sports pod? Legendary Coach Rock. Go 17. Let's rock. Who that? Boss kick. Black and gold. Let's go. First and goal from the one. Best believe we go punch. Punching in, get them punch. With them Saints, watch us march. Down the field, down your throat. Keeping it real, who that sports? Breaking news, interviews. Open lines just for you. Call in, join in. Pale Nation, just win. B.I., Mount Zion, Coach Green, oh my. CJ, JV, Trick or Trade, Jose. Keep it real, baby. Keep it real, baby. Keep it real, baby. Keep it real, baby. Keep it real, family. It's a family affair tonight, baby. I know you surprised. I ain't tell you we had special guests coming through. And they don't need no introduction. You already know. The hardest working man on YouTube, the one and only Hoodie Jube. What's up, Hoodie?
Hold on, the show started? I'm here. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing this fine. Let me tell you, like he always says it. Come on in. Take a seat. Put your feet up. Grab a drink. And you better pop some damn popcorn, too, because it's about to be a great show tonight. Yes, all right, introduce the next guy.
Well, the next guy, he's the reason all of us here. He started this thing. He got it from the mud. He's the godfather. Y'all already know who it is. The one, the only, the big homie, the one and only. Big Q, what's going on, baby? Welcome to the show, big brother.
Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Brother Randolph, the invite. Much love to my boy Hoodie. Appreciate you, bro. Y'all doing fantastic work in the Who That Nation, baby. We in here. What's poppin'?
We in this thing, man. And to the family in the chat, Demetrius, come on in. You call him OG, Uncle Jerry, what we call him. Come on in. Elite Goods, how you doing? Come on in. Pelicans Nola, how you doing? Come on in. Who else I got to get you if you Trail 504, how you doing? Come on in. Saints Uptown, how you doing? Come on in, my brother. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you, my brother. Who else we got in here? That's Derrick L. Derrick L, what's going on, my brother? Come on in. As you come on in, number one Saint fan, aka the scientist. How you doing, my brother? Keep it real, baby. You already know. Keep it real, baby. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Oh, we got a queen checking in. Who that Dana? Come on in. All right, family. So look at here. We about to get down to business, man. Hoodie and Q. First question, man. Are y'all as tired of this Sean Payton news as I am right now and ready for it to be over?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Dolph, I'm not, bro. I mean, at some point, the process got to work itself out. He's still interviewing. Um, let it. I think it should be. I think the pace is fine. And eventually, I think probably over the next several days, we'll be able to get a good trade package to get him packed and shipped, and we can get into our off-season stuff and find out what we need to go in the draft and things like that. But I think the pace is fine for right now, bro.
Thank you, fine. So with the what's your thoughts, Hoodie? Before I go to the next question, my brother.
To be honest with you, I'm not ready for it to be over because he ain't
Okay.
really interviewed with that many teams. And, the more teams that get involved, the better chance you might get, with some draft picks because the other team might be desperate and want to offer something bigger, stuff like that. So with just the teams we got right now, some of them don't even seem like it's gonna be worth it, especially the Broncos, who's got their second interview today. They don't look like it's worth it to me. You got a late pick, so like 29th, 30th or whatever. So you're gonna have to offer me another first round next year if you want me to give you Sean, if it's that late of a pick.
Right. One team that surprised me that didn't get in this, the Indianapolis Colts. I thought they may be interested in Sean, but they haven't seen come to the party yet. And today we got news, of course, that the Arizona Cardinals are they've thrown their hat into the Sean Payton sweepstakes, and they're meeting with Sean this coming Thursday. So with that being said, man, speaking of, I know Hoodie, you were just talking about the Broncos and they draft capital, man. Let me pull it up right quick. There we go there. Can you guys see that, man? Oh, we go. Let's see. I ain't added yet. Bam. There you go. If I add it, you can see it. So that's their draft capital right there, man. Now, I for one, I am not just looking at this year as far as with the draft capital that the Broncos have. I mean, like for instance, that first round pick will now be probably 30 or 31 if the 49ers go on to win the Super Bowl. But remember, the Dolphins are forfeiting their picks, so there's only 31 picks this year anyway in the first round. So to me, I would take that first round this year. It'll be like a high second, so you actually you'll have two twos, and I want both of those threes, and I want a 2, a 4, and a 6 next year, plus cash. If it's Denver, what's your thoughts on that?
I would say no, just because to be honest with you, with the other teams that do have, better first round picks. And by the way, I know a lot of people, and I'm gonna say it like this because I've been talking about it on my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We know we most likely will not get a top 5 pick for it because it never happened in the history of the NFL. You probably won't see it, but I always ask people, how much do you think Sean Payton is worth? We had that talk on my podcast the last 2 times I went live. 90% of us said we think he's worth a top 5, and then we got 10% of us in here saying he's not worth the top 5 at all. Don't know who those 10% people are. I feel like they kind of cuckoo in the head when they don't think he's the top 5 because of what Sean Payton is worth. But like with these other teams, I think the best team that will have you the best option and the best option for Sean Payton was the Texans, just because they got pick number 2 and pick number 12. So they don't want to give up, a top 5 pick for someone. They can keep that for someone to use that if he needs to draft his franchise quarterback, if he wants to, or use that for a trade package to get another, veteran quarterback if he needed to. And they can give us that 12th pick, which is a higher pick, and give us something else, in the package, maybe like a second or third or something, that would be more reasonable for us. But like I said, there's other teams that I think that can give us better offers, especially teams that's going to be desperate for a head coach.
All right, and so you saying the Texans?
I think the Texans might give you the best. But the only reason why I do say, because I always tell people this, don't ever count anything out, right? The Cardinals could be a really good trading spot because they really just need a good head coach to help coach Kyler Murray around, get that organization around. The defense ain't really that bad. They can, adjust that by adding a few good players. Offense, to be honest with you, I know how they said they want to trade D-Hop and he wants to leave. But if you bring in a guy like Sean Payton, maybe he'll like to stay, because he knows that, he can get Kyler Murray right. He can get that offense right, get the ball into DeAndre Hopkins' hands. So he might want to stay instead of having to trade a great player like D-Hop. And the other thing is, too, people be like, well, I don't think they would trade a top, 3 pick for him. And I'm like, yeah, it never did happen. But don't forget, top 3 picks are mainly for your franchise. That's going to turn your franchise around. So Payton's going to do that for you. And it ain't like he's got to draft a quarterback because he's got Kyler Murray there. So that's the one team I think that could bite on it. If they really was desperate and they really want Sean out of everybody else, they'd be like, here, this is what I'm going to offer you. My top 3 pick. That's what I can offer you. Okay. Which would be good for us. You can get it like a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud or somebody like that.
All right. Q, what's your thought?
It's interesting, bro, because it depends on, not so much as on the Saints as it is on Payton, man. I think he directed the play. Although I like the Texans setup, it's not the proper setup for him, even though he didn't poo-poo the deal up to the Texans. And of course, the reports say he didn't interview well with them, but it's coming out saying that Denver's the top spot. But we knew that all the time. That Denver, they got a very powerful ownership group with a lot of money. We knew that Russell Wilson. So I mean, it really fits overall. If you look at the 4 teams, of course, Arizona has yet to interview him. That's supposed to be this upcoming Thursday. So. We'll be intrigued to see how the Bidwell group do in luring him out there. So that could be like one of the teams that's like a sleeper team out of the 4 teams we currently have. I think Denver's the top spot for him based on the things that he's saying. Now, Sean Payton don't want no challenge. That's why he left the Saints. Yeah, I mean, he had the perfect ownership group here. And the reason why he left the Saints is because the quarterback position is unsettled. He didn't solve that position, so he's looking to go somewhere else where it's solved. And a group that's going to pay him the $20 to $25 million a year that he wants, which probably it's going to be a record deal for a head coach to make that kind of money. But if anybody desperate enough to pull that maneuver off and is in shape to make such a move, it's definitely Denver, man. They're primed for him. They've been looking at him since they got rid of Hackett. They've been looking at him way back in the day, and they're lining up second interviews. Second interviews is a good sign saying that what you want, how you want it, what you want to do with the general manager position, they're just ironing out the wrinkles. So, like we see, Arizona, they'll do it. They due diligence. They said that he interviewed well with Carolina, but these other teams have quarterback issues. Kyler Murray is dealing with an issue. I don't know how healthy he is. I know he's hurt. I mean, in terms of how long the process would be for him to come back for what has he got, an ACL issue or something or whatever? Yeah. So it is if any of the teams that we currently have in this that's going into the Sean Payton sweepstakes, the one that is a clear out front winner for his services is Denver. They fit the most with him. As far as the Saints, man, they picks way to the back end. They don't have a second round pick this year. They got a third. So at some point, I seen somebody post, I think Ross put an interesting package up there with the Broncos. They seeing this narrowing down to the Broncos. They saying the first round draft pick this year, a 4th round pick, they're going to leave them with their 3rd, a 1st next year, and I think a 1st or a 2nd next year or a 3rd or something like that he put. I think that'd probably be more likable. Of like, I want 2 firsts for Payton, and then y'all fill in the blanks on however it is. But 2 firsts for Payton this year and next year, and then y'all throw the rest of the picks in however that goes. But we got to get 2 firsts for the man.
Yeah, I mean, so looking at the Broncos picks, if it's the Broncos like it's looking at, so we take that it's 29 here, but like I said, now it'd be the 30 or 31. So you take that first and you get a first next year. I can't see them. Why I'm not leaving them with 2 third-round picks, man. I need at least a 69 pick, and then give me a 6, and then next year a 1 and maybe a 4 or 1 and 3, like that. I can't. That's me personally. But you say Ross said that the Saints are looking at a 1 and a 4 this year.
They don't have a second round pick, do they, Randolph?
Who that?
That's the Broncos picks you got up there in the screen, right?
Yeah, they don't have. They got 2 3s.
Okay. See, we get. Yeah, you should get one of. You should get one of them 3s, bro. Probably the later of the 3s. You know how Payton. And this is the thing too, bro. Remember, what kind of trader are you having in terms of a general manager? How aggressive is Mickey Loomis going to be in terms of demanding capital? Remember, Sean Payton gonna work against him because Payton wants to go there. And if he goes there, he ain't going to want you to take all of his picks. He's still going to want to have some picks to be able to operate with, to build or to take care of whatever needs he wants to do through the draft. So who's going to be more aggressive in terms of making that happen? How would Loomis behave against Payton? And from memory, he's always been agreeable towards Payton, even when Payton had his interest that was selfish interest onto his own self. Loomis basically put his thought processes above anything else. The coach we have, that was him. A lot of other stuff that was happening, that was him. So how aggressive is Loomis against Payton? Because really it's still Payton demanding it. It's not so much Loomis. You see what I'm saying? The power is Payton. Because if Payton don't like the play, if he don't like the situation, he could just go sit on the bench. But for Foxy, that's his fallback option. So, I mean, at some point, I don't think the Saints are going to be super aggressive to Denver because really Payton kind of orchestrating this thing. He decided on where he wants to go. He's using his leverage there. So I still say we get whatever they got first round pick. They got 2/3. We get one of the thirds. They're a first next year, and y'all fill in the blank on it. I just want 2 picks for the dude, 2 first rounders, and we throw in the rest of them. Yeah, 2 first rounders, the floor, right? That's what I care about. Yeah, you could throw a third or a fourth or however you want to sequence it from this year next year. 2-1. You got to get 2 1s for him, bro. It's too many teams out there, bro, that's looking at Payton that's willing to give the Saints 2 1s. The Panthers are saying that they're talking like Denver. We're gonna do whatever it takes to land Sean Payton. That's Tepper. He dropped that. So if that's the case, you have to compete with whatever they're willing to give. Denver is willing to give 2 1s for Payton. They're willing to pay him the $20 to $25 million a year. They're willing to give him power, even small. They're gonna work that out. But that's some of the things that Payton's going to command. Why would he not command a say somewhat in the general manager position? Or what calls are being made from a personnel standpoint?
So the thing I'm looking at is for next year's draft, QB wise, is going to be much better than this year's draft. So I can kind of see that. Let's say we get the first this year, and like you say, maybe and just the third, the 1 and 3 this year, and the 1 next year. And maybe another 3rd and a 5th next year, because next year's draft is stacking up to be quarterback friendly. Of course, you got everyone's expecting the kid from USC, Caleb Williams, to come out. Yeah, I for one think a sleeper that will probably come out next year resides on Willow Street. I think Pratt is right now. I think he's like probably a 5th round pick, but once he gets to working out and going to camps and all-star games, I think his stock is going to go up. But I think next year is the round that they need to select a quarterback, because this year's quarterbacks outside of Bryce Young, I know the Saints are falling in love with Kentucky's quarterback, Will Levis, because Jeff Allen has been to numerous Kentucky games. Mm-hmm. And if you look at Kentucky's offense, Kentucky's offense kind of plays the way that Dennis Allen wants to play. So that's something to look at, to keep in mind, man. So as far as the Arizona Cardinals, they draft capital. Let's see what they got. Because they just, and you, like you say he's familiar with. He was a ball boy or something for the Bidwells, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, he started off as a ball boy with the Bidwells, and he had a connection to it. And it's weird how those circles are, man. Like Peyton's a circle guy. A lot of these guys, they're in that circle, and they start off. It's just like it's the same story over and over again. If you think about it, think in your mind how many other people were ball boys that were, that worked at, at some level, some professional team. Wasn't that the case with Fitzgerald? Wasn't Fitzgerald running around there doing stuff like that for a team before? So, I mean, I've heard that story countless times over the years of people, kids around the sport, and then ultimately they became in the circle, and then they went in and aspired to the greater positions in it. So it's the same old story that you hear. But yeah, he there's definitely connections to most of these teams, to be honest with you, because you cross over these people in them tight circles. So the NFL world is not a very big world. It all comes down to who's inside that circle.
All right. Saints Uptown, so I don't think he's going to go to Arizona either.
Shout out Saints Uptown, man. What's up, bro?
Yeah, man. Because right now, Uptown, man, it's looking like he's It's like we say, it looks like it's going to be Denver. I mean, second interview, like Q said, everybody knows when you go in for a second interview, you're mainly going out there to hash out details about your contract, the who's going to be, the control you're going to have over your roster and everything like that. So I think these other interviews he's going on, I think he's just going on to make sure that he's making the right decision. I think for him to pull out of possibly going to Denver, somebody's going to have to wow him. And like you said, Denver's got the money to pay him. The Bidwells have the money to pay him. Temple's got the money. So he's in a no-lose situation. Now, some people have been saying, well, we lose everything if he go back. His contract's not up with the Saints to 2025.
Correct.
So a lot of people were thinking that it was up next year. No, Payton's contract ends in 2025.
He quit in the middle of his contract.
Yeah, he quit. Right. He quit in the middle of, not stepped down. He quit in the middle of his contract on us. He decided he been wanted to quit. As we all know, we done went over with nausea. He been wanting to walk away. But so with that being said, when I'm looking, as we look at Arizona's pick, they only have 5 picks this year. This currently for this season, they got 1 through 5. Well, 1 through 6. 1 through 5. Let me see. Damn, I might need to put glasses on. 1 through 6. They're
missing the 5, Randolph. I see it, bro.
They're missing that 5, man. It's a 6, man. So they got a 6. So looking at Arizona, I mean, definitely a first round pick. Now, but they have 1, but their first is a 3. They're not giving up that 3 unless, like you said, unless they get into a bidding war and realize, like, how bad do you want them?
Right.
Now if Denver, if they're willing to throw that 3rd in plus a 1 next year, then fill in plus cash consideration. That's what I want. How much cash consideration do you think that the Saints can get for Sean Payton? Because I know in the Gruden trade, Tampa received $8 million. So do they look to double that or come get at least quarter of that, maybe $12 million for him in cash? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know, Randolph, about the cash portion of it, man. That's a good question, bro. I mean, I don't know if that's even a consideration for the Saints. Outside of the draft compensation, the pick compensation. I don't know if money is even a factor. I mean, most times, if you think about it, how often do the Saints, when is the last time? It's been a while, man. If I got to go back and really think about it, the last time the Saints made, they made a high pick, not like a low pick, but like maybe a first, second, or third, or they traded somebody importantly where they had where they had cash considerations. I mean, I'm saying Mickey Loomis is not, imaginative enough to request that, but that's a good question, Randolph, because really the 2 first-round draft picks occupied, they come from, they're inspired by the John Gruden trade several years ago. We got, that's the table in which we eating off here with the Sean Payton thing. And remember, we always talked about how Gruden got 2 first-round picks from the Buccaneers and 2 second-round picks and $8 million, and he didn't even have a championship then. No. He didn't win that Super Bowl to that following year.
Right.
So that to me is why, they're going to have people that try to devalue Sean Payton, but you can't devalue Sean Payton because Sean Payton, from a historical standpoint, based on that, you should still be able to command the same things, but it's up to whether or not the management group are more stern in what they're asking for and still be in a league with Sean Payton where they don't piss him off, where he decides that the Saints, will be flexible on what they're asking. As long as you get the first, they might want to keep the 2/3. Would you say, okay, listen, we'll take the 2 first, but we need our 2/3. Would you be willing to take a 4th this year and then we give you a 2nd for next year? That type of stuff. Or even if they threw in an extra pick in there. Right. So I mean, where's the flexibility at with Mickey Loomis? And I think he'll be real flexible because he's gonna want to work out something that's positive both for him and Sean Payton. That's how I see it, bro.
Got it. All right, family. We've been joined by the co-host of the Keeping It Real Sports Podcast, the one and only legendary Coach Rock. Coach, what's going on with you?
What's going on? What's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. Good.
So, Coach, what's your thoughts?
I just joined in. What's your comment?
Right now, we're looking at Arizona's pick as they are scheduled to interview Payton Thursday. But also Payton is scheduled for a second interview with the Denver Broncos. And we know when you go in for a second interview, you're mainly going out there to hash out contract details and dot your I's and cross all your T's. And we looked at Denver's picks. They have one late in the first round, which is from the 49ers, so it'll be 30 or 31. They have 2 threes. They don't have a 2 this year. Q and Hoodie are saying that they want two ones, a 1 this year and a 1 next year, and then just fill everything in as for after they get the 2 ones.
I don't think you're gonna get 2 ones.
Whoa.
I think you get a 1 this year, maybe a 2 next year, or maybe 2 2s in the future, but I doubt it. Because we had this conversation yesterday, though.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest issue with this is this going to be business for Mickey Loomis, or is this going to be about the friendship with Sean Payton? And what I mean by that is that Mickey Loomis might just settle for anything just to make sure Payton gets this job. Because my thing is, if he goes into a kind of negotiating thing where what they want and say, hey, them will say, hey, we're not going to give you this. Would the Saints back away? And if Sean Payton really wants this job, or would they just settle for anything? That's my biggest concern about the whole issue, man.
All right. Hoodie, what's your thoughts, my brother?
So, my thoughts on the Sean, Payton stuff, and Coach Rock, I do think Sean Payton, you could get 2 first round picks. It just depends on what type of first round. If it's Denver, late 29, 30, 31st, 32nd, then yeah, you're gonna have to give me a second first round pick next year, because that's not high enough when you got teams like the Houston Texans who can give you that 12th pick, and they got higher picks that I would take.
Right. He said 2 ones. I know they're gonna get 1, but he was saying 2 ones.
Yeah, another 1 next year.
Yeah, and another 1 next year. That's what I was saying. Because Broncos 30, if you're giving me your 30th pick, that ain't nothing in the first round. That's like a second round almost to me. So you better give me another first next year too.
Right. I mean, I have no problem with what you're saying, but like I said, I'm just will Mickey Loomis fight for this team?
He needs
would
to.
Just be just a friendship thing to say, hey, whatever you offer us, we're gonna take for Sean Payton, just because. So yeah, and that's my biggest concern with all of this, man.
All right. Well, my thing is this, man. I think Mickey Loomis, man, that he gonna have to do what's best for the Saints, man. I'm like this. Say Sean wants to go to the Broncos, and the Broncos try to lowball the Saints. Why do the deal? You still got him to the end of 2024. If he want to go back to Fox, let him go back to Fox. I mean, hell, we got Dennis Allen as the coach and Pete Carmichael as the offensive coordinator. Anyway, we ain't gone no damn well.
And that's what I'm saying. It was those perfect example. Those 2 guys built on friendship who've been around. Because we all know both of them should be gone.
Right. We all know that, but they're not gone.
They're not gone.
And as we was told Friday night, management is not happy with the way Dennis Allen is running the team. Why the hell you double down and bring him back and his offensive coordinator? But like Q had been saying, it's about that money. The Saints don't want to pay that money. They're scared to pay that money. And also, don't forget, a couple weeks ago when the NFL sent out all those letters to the teams telling them about all the money that they're paying former employees, coaches, and management and administrators. So don't think that doesn't have something to do with this also. Q, what's your thoughts on that?
I think you're hitting on it, Randolph, man. To keep it $115 with your brother, you spot on, bro. The thing about it is, it's all about the money. the Saints and a little bit of laziness and lack of vision too, bro. I've been kind of pulling from this and this kind of common thing, man. Remember the Saints set up on Sean Payton for what 16 years. When we finally ran out of juice, quit on the team, the Saints didn't have a fallback option. The fallback, really, they did. The fallback option was to listen to Sean Payton and hire his boy as the head coach of the team, even though he lacked the qualifications and the resume versus people like Brian Flores or even Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl before. I mean, he got the same Super Bowl, the same number of Super Bowls as Sean Payton do. Right. So, I mean, at some point, there's a lack of vision there. But I think the Saints didn't want to break the contract, whatever the contract is that they signed with Dennis Allen after 1 year, because that comes with you have to break him off, pay him off. That's money, and then come up with more money to hire his replacement and do it right. And then that's 2 back-to-back years after 16 years of sitting on your tail with one coach and just having a whole dreamy paradise type situation occur. So, I mean, it don't feel right. So they're forcing you to kind of sit behind Dennis Allen. But the reality is this is going to be bad because Allen didn't do well under the little bit of pressure he had post Payton. Now you give him a second year when everybody knows it was clear and obvious that he didn't deserve to come back, that the team is despondent. He alienated players, you know who it is on the team. The quarterback position don't have a clear leader. In order to have success in the NFL, you got to have 2 things: a good coach and a good quarterback. The Saints simply right now are struggling with that. He alienated Jameis Winston. We don't know what's going to happen with that. And do they have the vision moving forward to fix the real things that's wrong with the team, even though those things have something to do with the head coach and the coordinator who stunk it up? So the fire Dan Rouchard, who in my opinion is a sacrificial firing, just to say that they did something, is ludicrous. So at the end of the day, it's a sacrificial firing. They had to fire somebody, bro, to make it seem like they're doing something.
I thought it was Rizzy. That's what I thought it was when it first happened.
Should have been Rizzy.
That's who damn show should have been.
I'm with you, bro.
Because the last 2.5 years, all this special teams unit has sucked. Coverage wise, blocking wise, everything.
I agree, bro. I agree.
So I mean, why? Like it. I believe it was. I don't know if it was Marley Marl, but some JT. JT said the good old boys. That friendship shit. Like we've been talking about.
Yeah, circle boys.
Right, them circle boys. I want to welcome to the show, MOD. How you doing, my brother? And Uncle Jerry. We're gonna get MOD, then Uncle Jerry after that. MOD, you live.
What's going on, man? Saints Uptown.
What's going on, man?
Defense for the Who That Nation. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Uptown? What's up, big bro?
Welcome to the show. Bro? Welcome to the show, my brother.
What I say about this, right, is that Mickey Loomis is in no way, shape, or fashion could he accept a bad deal for this dude. Okay? Because he hasn't done nothing to acquiesce to the fans, none this offseason. There's not a single Saints fan that I know that like Dennis Allen. I don't know a single Saints fan on Twitter. I don't know a single Saints fan personally, a single Saints fan on YouTube, or nobody that likes Dennis Allen.
I do.
Then he doubled down on his BS.
Lord knows I know.
He keep Dennis Allen. He kept Pete Carmichael as well. You understand? So ain't no way in hell could he accept a bad deal for this dude. He has to throw this fan base a bone.
Right.
He has to throw us a bone. And I'm with what the brother said earlier, right? Mm-hmm. If we don't get a good deal for him, right? Mm-hmm. Have him go sit his ass back on the couch for Fox.
That's what I say.
Okay, you go sit down, you go vote it. You go right over there, sit down for Fox again, bro, and we'll replay this again next year.
Yeah.
You understand? And so what? Y'all got to realize, right, that we wouldn't, technically speaking, we wouldn't be screwed, okay? Because we did have 2 first-rounders last season, right? Mm-hmm. Okay? So technically speaking, we getting ours. We just got ours a little earlier last year.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So technically speaking, we wouldn't be screwed. And the only way that we would get screwed in this whole instance is if somehow that Trevor don't live up to be don't live up to the expectations if we tell Sean Payton that he got to go back and work for Fox again.
Right.
Now, if Trevor end up being the truth, right, like Chris Olave is the truth, then we good then, right? Because we had already got ours.
Exactly. That's how I'm looking at it.
You understand what I'm saying? So we don't need to be accepting a bad deal when it comes down to this dude. I agree wholeheartedly with Big Q. We need to get 2 number ones. Either you give us 2 number ones,
or no talk.
Or you set the hell up and let this dude go back to Fox. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Big it up, town.
Straight like that. All this second round and all this flim-flam, hell no. We want the bones.
Right.
Okay? You didn't give us nothing. You kept Pete Carmichael. You fired the damn tight ends coach. How you going to fire him? And here it is, Jawan Johnson has emerged as our top tight end, which means that he did his job.
Yes.
That was a flim-flam firing.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? That man did his job. That man been here for years doing his job.
Rizzy.
You understand? How it is, right? Our current head coach, 7 games is the most games that he has won in a season in his whole feeble career. The dude is like 15 and 36 as a coach or something like that?
Right.
A 28% winning percentage? Man, you suck.
Yeah, we are.
We want the bones. We want the bones, Mickey. We want the bones. Otherwise, right, Short can go bring his ass back on Fox.
Yeah, I'm not. I know a lot of family members are kind of nervous about that. Well, in case he goes back to Fox, let him go back to Fox. Sit there another whole year, like you said. We'll revisit this next year. If we go around down the same road next year, he won't be working in the NFL to 2025, and by that time, hopefully Dennis Allen will be gone, and we'll be on to a new regime. Because right now the Saints have a lot to prove to the Who Dat Nation. We ain't got no confidence and nothing going on over there in that building. They have to prove it to us. And when I say prove it, once again, I'm going to say it again. I'm not talking about coming out next season, starting 4-0, 6-1, 7-2, everybody getting excited. Damn it, I'm talking about winning the division, advancing past the divisional round. You have to at least get to the NFC Championship game. And we all know right now, sitting here today on January the 23rd, that shit is highly unlikely to happen.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
You know, that's not going to happen when we don't even know who our quarterback is. And then as we found out Friday, you know, then Mickey Loomis built this offense for Jameis Winston. Jameis gets hurt in the first game, takes a shot, comes in, balls out at the end of the game. Instead of sitting the kid down for the rest of the season, this man's he's worrying about, if you're worried about your coaching job, you want to put the best player on the field that'll give you the best chance to win that Sunday. And so if Jameis Winston's playing with a broken back, then on top of that, in that game, he suffers a severe foot injury. You shoot him up and you send him back out there. He throws 3 picks. He looks bad. That's what everybody was waiting for, so they can jump on him and say, I told you so. Then on top of that, after that week, instead of shutting him down, no, you put him back out there against Carolina. And he's a sitting duck. He's wounded. He did not give you your best chance to win. And we had Jameis one-on-one, and he said, and he believed Allen's thought process was, it's 3 division games. If I could just get 2 of these or get through these division games and then sit him and let Andy Dalton play against Seattle and lesser defenses to build up confidence in the team of Andy Dalton. Hell, you could have set Jameis. You should have put him on injury reserve for the 6 weeks or longer. You could have played Taysom Hill against Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Then you could have came back the next week and started Andy Dalton. This man has totally fumbled the ball since he started. It started in training camp when he couldn't get along with CeeDee So what did he do? He goes to Mickey and he has him shipped out of here for nothing. So that's why I'm at with it, man. Hoodie, what you got for us, man?
Oh, I think Jared was up.
Oh, Jared. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry, Uncle Jared.
You can't forget about the OG.
I got to run in my mouth, man. I apologize.
No, it's all right. What had to be said has to be said.
Yes,
so how y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good, my brother.
All right. Good to see you, Dolph 17, Coach Rod, Hooded Dude, Big Q, my big bro, Saints Uptown. What's good, family?
Yeah, what's going on, man? What's good, brother?
You got it, big bro. Look.
What's up, OG?
What's happening with you? What's happening? Look, after everything y'all was saying about what's going on with this Saints team, if some of y'all was there Thursday night, I did one of the biggest rants about this team. Now we already know Mr. Cleanup himself, Dennis Allen, decided to bring back his buddy, Pete Carmichael. And you know, Dog 17, I was hot like fire. Seriously. Because ain't no way. Look, this team is already in ship in the sinking ship right now. Because it's ridiculous right now, bruh. Mm-hmm. How can you get rid of the tight end coach, as Uptown just said? Jawan Johnson, he's our tight end right now. He doing it big out there. And you go, bruh, come on now. This is why the Saints are in a shithole right now. Because of one, Mickey Loomis doing all he can to help this team get better, which is the wrong way.
Right. So let me ask everybody on the panel this. Do you think one of the reasons that they possibly decided to run it back with Dennis Allen is because they're looking around the NFC South, they see all the personnel changes, the coaching changes, the coordinator position, and they're thinking once again that continuity and staying together, that they'll have a better opportunity to win the NFC South, which is wide open. But you don't have right now. No team in the NFC South has a starting quarterback. We don't know who's going to be the starter. I know in Atlanta they think it's the youngster Ritter, but they're not sure. Tampa is praying. They're on their hands, their knees. They got their lucky rabbit's foots and everything, praying Brady come back, so they don't go back to being what they is. Absolutely garbage, trash, nothing.
Brady ain't coming back. You might as well go ahead and say it right there. Right. Stop right there, Dog 17. You know, and we address that right there.
And we right now, we got a quarterback that's under contract for only $15 million. Coach, let us know the other day the rumor about the Saints are chasing Derek Carr. Why would you trade for Derek Carr? Now, if I'm not mistaken, Derek Carr is going to cost you about what, 25-30 million, if I'm mistaken, Q? So that makes no sense to me.
When you got to Derek Carr, man, I'm going to be incensed. I probably won't even watch him this season. If Derek Carr end up being the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, I would protest and not watch him. I would do that. I would find something else to do. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-mm. Are you kidding me? Here it is, man. The Raiders just gave up on this bump. You understand what I'm saying?
Forget it, AKA.
Well, you know this
man has the only time that Derek Carr ever been something was that one year when they went to the playoffs without him because he got injured.
Yep.
And he ain't been the same since then. He been in decline since then. Here it is. You got your boy to come over there to play wide receiver with you. Your main man. And you stuck it up so bad till they want to get rid of you.
Exactly, T-Dirty. Exactly.
So my thing is this also. Don't forget why Allen's is so in love with him, because he drafted him when he was at Oakland.
No.
The year he got fired after 4 games. Cole was his quarterback. Cole was his draft pick. So he has that love affair with Derek Carr. But again, you got Jameis Winston here, $15 million only $15 million. The offense will tailor to this kid for this kid.
Yep.
And
he's better than David Carr.
He got hurt.
He's better
got hurt. So my thing is this: why not? And like Jameis one-on-one said, and I agree with him. Why not keep Jameis? I don't care. And all y'all who don't like, I ain't about. I really don't care. My thing is this: one last year with Dennis Allen, either make it work or all y'all gone. Mm-hmm. I want to see Jameis Winston healthy for the majority of the season with an offense tailored to his skills and see the outcome. We haven't had the opportunity to see that. And to me, like I've been saying, I'm going to say it again. The way they handled the situation with this kid's injuries, they set him up for failure. That's my
I agree, man. I agree with you so much, man. I agree with every word you just said. Everything you just said.
So Q, let me ask you, bro. What do you think? Do you think they set Jameis up for failure, man? I know earlier a lot of people were like, well, it's 50-50. But as the head coach, and y'all let me know if I'm wrong in the panel and in the chat. If you're the head coach of a team, your job objective is to win games. You telling me, and I'm quoting for what I heard because it makes sense. You're telling us basically that a man with a broken back was your best option when you brought in Andy Dalton as a security blanket to play 5 or 6 games as a stand-in, and you still had Taysom Hill, who in the offseason you want to say would be a tight end, but we know he played more snaps at quarterback and his Swift Army night position than he did tight end. So what's your thoughts on that?
That's a lot there, Randolph, to unpack, bro. But I tried the best I can on that one, bro.
I got you.
I think that Jameis Winston was hit from the word go with the Saints. The Saints never really wanted Jameis Winston this season. They was trying to they sold completely off of Deshaun Watson. They reworked every contract, most of the majority of the contracts to free up the capital to go after him. He never was really serious about the Saints. He began to make these weird gestures toward Atlanta and trying to create a team in Atlanta because he was using the Saints as leverage to get people to go to Atlanta so he can go there. And then ultimately Cleveland came in with the guaranteed money to swarm away. So they went all in on Watson, and the backup plan was Jameis Winston. Now, unfortunately for Jameis, he got hurt. He was fighting off injuries from the previous year. He acquired more injuries in the new year. And what happened was a lack of vision by a head coach who's not really a coach. He's watching Jameis. He's seeing him struggle. He gets hurt in these games, and he played him too long than when he was supposed to play him. He was supposed to just sit, after he's seen all that occur, he's supposed to sit him down and let Andy Dalton have a month worth of games. Let Jameis maybe a month and a half worth of games. Let him come back from whatever it was. And then it got to a point, I think it was after week 8 or week 9 of the season when Jameis fell off the injury report. And they wasn't listening, but he was an active member and he was dressing out for the team. Then all that stuff later on started happening with him coming out to the reporters, telling the reporters that he was deceived by Dennis Allen because he was told that he couldn't lose his job due to injury, which obviously it occurred, which is a cardinal rule in the NFL that players are not supposed to lose their job due to injury. So he violated those principles. He violates a lot of principles. He lied to him. He broke the very precious trust between a quarterback and a head coach. And a lot of players came to play for the Saints, Jarvis Landry in particular, who came to the Saints because of Jameis Winston. Yeah. So, I mean, you have a team captain at quarterback that the head coach breaks the trust of it, then puts his petty grievances above the team by when that happened. I really do feel like he got real petty with Jameis and benched Jameis because he came out and told everybody that he lied to him. Right. So he went in that doghouse, and not one game since that point on to the end of the season that Jameis, even though Jameis was dressing out for those games, he was at those games dressing out, cheering on people out there on the field, on the sidelines. Dennis Allen never waved him to come in the game, even when Andy Dalton was out there throwing interceptions, 3 interceptions, and before the halftime even started, he was stanking up games, trying to throw the game away. The Carolina game at the end of the year, he gets out there and throw a pick to almost Josh Norman out there, and nobody was out there. The guy's an idiot. So at the end of the day, it was just total confusion. I wouldn't blame Jameis if he requested to not be a member of the Saints, or if the Saints release him. He never was their guy under Dennis Allen. Maybe at some point Sean Payton believed in him, but Dennis Allen and his administration just simply used him as a fallback option because they couldn't find, in their eyes, a better option than Jameis Winston on free agency. So, and that's my sticking point on that. And Carr could be an option. I know MOD saying he don't like the Carr option, but yeah, that's what idiot coaches do, bro. They make the wrong calls at these positions. That's why the man's not really a head coach. He could never win a head coaching job if somebody didn't point to him and say, hey, make that guy the head coach. I'm Sean Payton. I'm God out here. Make this guy the coach of the team. And Mickey Loomis bowed over for him and gave it to him. So we stuck with this guy for at least another half a season, perhaps. But eventually he's so poor, I think that he'll lose enough games. The pressure will be too unbearable, and they'll be forced to slash him down. So, yeah, I just don't see that Jameis coming back for another season. Why would he? Right. He don't trust the guy. You ain't gonna play for nobody you don't trust, man. I mean, this just they are people at the end of the day. That's all I got on it, Randolph.
Yeah, Coach Rock, what you got for us, Coach?
I mean, basically what everybody said, man, especially the guy right before me. I mean, I feel the same way. So,
all right.
And I was thinking the same way, man. It's just that somebody, Q voiced exactly what I said, what I was thinking. While we thinking about is Jameis Winston an option or not, we don't know if Jameis Winston even want to come back and play for us anymore.
Exactly.
And if he does not want to come play for us any longer, do you blame him?
No, I can't blame him. I can't.
Q, can I ask Coach Rock a question? Not Q, no. Can I ask Coach Rock a question?
Yeah, he good.
Yeah, Coach Rock. That's what I was thinking of this. Do you think the Saints bought back Pete Carmichael because Dennis Allen had his hand in on the offense and wanted him to do what he wanted him to do? Because when the first couple games when Jameis was playing, that looked like a whole different offense than when Andy Dalton came in and took over the offense. So do you think they bought him back and say he gonna have control of the offense now? Because that's the only reason I can see him bringing them back. I don't understand.
I think the thing with the offense was kind of Dennis Allen kind of started sticking his hand into the offense. Dennis Allen's approach to the offense is a more conservative, want to run the ball offense. Carmichael was trying to open the offense up some more to kind of, stretch the field. What he saw with Shaheed and Olave. But then Dennis Allen started kind of, for some reason, him being defensive minded, and I don't know why, whatever, but some kind of way he started to want to stick his hand in the offense because as a head coach, his offensive philosophy is more of a short passing game, and he wanted to run the ball when he really had, no real running backs. I mean, Ingram was real at the end of his rope. Kamara is more of I call him, you hear me say this a lot on the show, like a toy. Like you put him in space and whatever. But what they're trying to do with Kamara is to squeeze him in and make him at every down back, which he's not. But Dennis Allen wants a more of a conservative, one of the old school type offense, short passing game, run the ball. And somewhere in there, I got the thing, him and Pete Carmichael start bumping heads on that because Pete wanted to try to open it up with, he had Shaheed and he had Olave could kind of stretch the field. So they kind of start bumping heads, man. And at the end of the day, the head coach kind of overruled on that. And why the hell Dennis Allen, of all people, is trying to become offensive minded, it kills me.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
That was kind of interesting what you were saying too, Coach, because really, right, I didn't really see no identity for our offense.
Mm-hmm.
Our offense had no identity this season. Zero identity. We were not a running team, and we wasn't necessarily a passing team either. We had no identity whatsoever. So I don't know what we saw on offense this year. I don't know what that was.
Well, I think we had our identity. The only time the Saints had our identity was at the end of the Atlanta game. That was it. That's the only time you had our identity.
You know what, Randolph? MOD calling it, man. That's the issue, man. The Saints, that offense. I mean, it was leaderless, man.
Yes.
I mean, you seen what could have been the potential and what happened with the Saints in the Atlanta game toward the back end when they took that. I mean, that was phenomenal, man.
Yes.
That destroyed the Atlanta Falcons, man. The Saints came back, and I said this should set the tone for the season. They just could not duplicate it. When Jameis got hurt, they let him play a little too long hurt, and then they kind of built up a bad energy toward him. See, like Jameis stunk it up and then people are so foolish. They can't differentiate between the man being healthy versus being hurt, and they just so rabidly evil to demonize him without making the differential between the man wasn't healthy and he was out there throwing with a broken back. Let's see those same folks take their trifling tails out there and with a broke ass back and see if they can cut their lawn or do all this other kind of stuff. Man.
I'm gonna say it for you, dude.
Shoot it up on pain pills, dude. I mean, it's the difference. You got to differentiate between the two. So I agree with MOD, man. The Saints didn't have they hadn't had no identity. They had no leader on top of the offense, bro.
Right.
So I agree with that, bro.
Right. And I'm gonna say it for you. They trifling ass. I'm gonna say it for you.
Yeah, I ain't want to say it. I cut loose, Randolph.
I know. Once you get going,
they ain't the only one.
I don't know, but shit, I'm surprised Hurricane Mike ain't in here, man. Mike.
Oh, bruh.
Man, it be going viral again, man.
Y'all 17 that Michael was up in here. Young as that kid is. Oh my God, you might want to protect everything that you got when he come up in here. Because he'll bring up a storm up in here.
So my take was,
I'm being real tempered right now. Jerry,
I know you being real tempered right now. I didn't heard you. You being real tempered.
Jerry, and Q know too. I'm being real tempered in here today. You understand what I'm saying? Because I can act a damn fool if I wanted to. Right. You understand? But I'm being real tempered in here because it's like, this is something beyond our control. I mean, I can act a fool all I want. Ain't nothing going to change.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And like the only way that it is going to change, man, is if Saints fans and stuff start being vocal about this kind of stuff, man. It's
financially vocal.
You understand? Yeah. I mean, they have to show some kind of response, to what they seeing.
Right. And let me just say this too. Remember when we was calling for Dennis Allen's job and the petitions was going around? What happened that next game against the Rams? Who was down on the field for the first time as the owner of the New Orleans Saints? And she wasn't hugging and she wasn't kissing babies. So we who that nation, you do make a difference. Your voice can be heard if you use it right. Like Q's been pushing, like I'm pushing, like all the families pushing. Don't support that. Don't spend your money on their merchandise. Don't go to games. Hell, people going to games and shit. You can't protect their cars and shit. Hey,
dog, 17.
I'm just putting it like this, and I'm being 100% serious. I have been a Saints fan since birth. You understand what I'm saying? If Derek Carr is the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints next season, I'm not watching it. I am not watching it. I'm telling you that right now. You understand what I'm saying? First of all, you force-fed us this Andy Dalton dude all damn season.
Oh God.
Then you're gonna try and force-feed us Derek Carr? No damn way am I going to sit down and watch that. No way.
Uptown. Can I interject on that after what you said? You already know what my answer to this is. Hell to the fucking no.
All right,
If
now
Andy Dalton's going to be our quarterback or QB1 next year, I might join you because I ain't gonna watch it either. And all y'all that think y'all going to the season, y'all going to the Superdome next year. Let me give you some good advice. Stay the fucking home. Stay the fuck at home. If you want to see the Saints play, stay home and watch it on television or not. Do something else because ain't no way on God's green earth that we're gonna watch this team that we love keep falling down. If Dennis Allen's gonna still be our head coach, ain't no way on God's green earth that's gonna happen.
Bro,
so save all your money on do something else.
I'm gonna say this, then I gotta leave, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Derek Carr is such a punk. I remember when they was playing against the Seattle Seahawks, and that punk was crying. He was crying on the field.
Yes, he was.
Real tears.
Yep. Ain't no fake.
What I'm saying? Ain't no way in hell I want a cat like that playing for the New Orleans Saints. Bad enough we had to stomach through a whole laundry list of whack quarterbacks and stuff in the day. Billy Joe Hobart, Billy Joe Tyler.
Oh my God!
This, that, and the third. You understand? Let's not forget Mr. Aaron Brooks.
Oh my God!
I threw an interception and go laugh about it on the sidelines.
That's why they call him backward pass. He just do a backward pass and he just laugh like, man, get this motherfucker off my team, please. Sorry ass motherfucker.
All right, man. Hey, man, it was a pleasure having you, my brother. Yeah, you family, man. You welcome anytime, my man.
Hey, look, you welcome on our
man, just let me know
podcast too, bro. I'd like to welcome you to our podcast too.
Yes, sir.
The WDN chat line.
Oh yeah, man. My big homie CB, man. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, man. Just let us know, man.
With no doubt, we'll set it up, brother.
All right, let's do that, man.
IQ, man. It's good, man, hearing from you, bro. It's always a pleasure hearing from you, brother.
Same to you, MOD, man. Keep up that great work, man. Tell my boy CB and the rest of the family over there, man. Y'all boys smashing it, man. Y'all keep that pressure on them, bro.
Yes, we're going to keep that pressure on them, bro. We got you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Who that, baby?
Who that?
W Uptown.
Yeah, man. So look, family, I'm just gonna do it all. I want to thank Big Q Hoodie. Before we go, man, you been over there quiet. You over there sleeping, man. You supposed to just jump in, man. Come on, man. What's your thoughts before we get out of here, man?
I think Hoodie was just listening.
We'll see what happened. Was I was thinking in my head if I wanted to say anything. You know, I don't know if I wanted to say anything. I might have got cursed out on this show by a bunch of people because when I heard everybody talking about the
Jerry.
Yeah. I already know Uncle Jerry's gonna curse me out. I know the chat's gonna.
I wouldn't do that to you.
I know Big Q might curse me out on this one too. Coach Rock might curse me out.
Never that, bro. Never that.
If I said, I think everybody would, but the reason why I say that is because the Dennis Allen situation. I wanted to hop in and say stuff. Everybody was talking, so I was listening, let them say stuff. But to be honest with everybody, everybody can be mad all we want about the Dennis Allen situation because y'all know me, I love Jameis Winston. And what he did to Jameis was a fucked up situation. Basically screwed his career again. You never know with Jameis, though he could be back because that's what Jameis 101 said. You know, he's got a different type of, mind in him. You know, he's kind of goofy when it comes to stuff like that. He said he would, probably be a person that will come back to the Saints. Stuff like that. But this is what I tell people, and you got to look at the bad, side of Dennis Allen, which was the, screwing my boy Jameis over, making us freaking look at Andy Dalton all year, thinking he's the guy, having to put your hands in the offensive play column, which is not your type of, thing to do, because we know what you are as a defensive coordinator. But when you look back at this past season, and you can look at it and be like, okay, so him with the Raiders, what was the most wins this man ever got per season? It was always 4 wins, 4-4. Well, this season he actually won 7 games, which was, almost double the wins that he did when he was with the Raiders. So that showed me right there his wins, and his coaching went a little bit up compared to what he was with the Raiders. He had better, definitely a better defense, with the people he's got, with the defense he built. And you look at some of the games we had too. How many games that you can go back and look at and say, how close was these games? Like, if we would have just gotten the end zone a few times instead of kicking field goals when we got to the red zone, and kicking these field goals when we needed a touchdown to take the lead and, take that momentum from the other teams. And you look at those games and you're like, well, damn, Michael Thomas wasn't there for us. Jarvis Landry was out. Olave was out for one of those games, and we still stayed in the game against the Bengals. So, like, just think of how great the defense is, and just think if we really did, like we're doing right now, roll it back, decide if you're going to keep Jameis or you're going to roll a different route with a different quarterback. Hopefully not Derek Carr. Like I said, I think Derek Carr is just a younger version of Andy Dalton soon. So you roll that back, you get you a possessing catcher. If not, because it doesn't sound like Michael Thomas is going to be back, but if he does stay, that'll be great. Hopefully the man can stay healthy all season. Jarvis maybe might come back because I doubt he's going to get any good contract nowhere because he showed everybody this year that he was hurt, this year again. So, like, he didn't get to do nothing. But just think of some of those games that we could have won easily if you would have just had your playmakers getting you into the end zone instead of just the people coming off the bench trying to be that guy, but only can get you to the red zone, and that was it. Besides Jawan Johnson. Jawan Johnson just got you in the end zone like it was nothing. But just think of those games we could have won. We would have been in the playoffs.
Right.
So, I really don't think we're that far off. I know a lot of us are overlooking a lot of it because of what happened with the Jameis situation, and we're looking at the play calling and stuff, but I really do think Dennis Allen, with his great defense, I don't want to see that gone. So I think if he just let somebody else control just the offense and a person that knows how to run an offense. So if Pete Carmichael can't do shit this year, halfway through the season, man, you need to look for somebody that can start, calling these plays and get our offense running, because like I told everybody before in my podcast, I love Dennis Allen's defense and everything. I just didn't like his decision making last year, lying about the health of Jameis. That's the only part that hurts me. But at the same time, it's like, if we did let Dennis Allen go, now we got to find another defensive coordinator that that's good as him, that knows how to basically put pressure on all these different teams. And also, you also got to look at some of the players that's on that defensive team that respects Dennis Allen and loves playing for Dennis Allen might want to roll out when their contract's done too. So we got to, look into all of that compared to just looking at, one side, the bad side. They got some good stuff you see into, that you got to see in Dennis Allen too.
No, nobody never doubted him as a defensive coordinator. We talking about him, his decision making as a head coach, his personnel decisions, his meddling in the offense, which has been rumored and reported by strong sources who are close to the team, who cover the team. He just made some bad decisions. The man has proven with his track record as a head coach, he's not that guy. Now, as a coordinator, yes. One thing he messed up with, he couldn't decide between Nielsen and Rashard for defensive coordinator. Now there's a chance the Saints lose both of them, and now you got to go and bring somebody in to give them the title of defensive coordinator, when in reality, Dennis Allen is the defensive coordinator. So my thing is, when we lose Ron Nielsen, because Nielsen is gone. Nielsen is gone. I think the Vikings go hire Nielsen. I think Nielsen's out the door. Rashard, I don't know. I would love to have Chris Rashard back as the defensive coordinator, but if he comes back as the defensive coordinator, let him coach the defense. Of course you go want Dennis Allen's input on the defense, because that's his specialty. But my thing is him meddling with the offense. Let the man coach. Let your coaches coach. Delegate. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a lot of bad decisions. We're sitting here right now. The Saints' future is uncertain. It's not like this team is void of talent. There is talent on this team. And for the life of me, I can't understand why everybody is trying to get rid of Michael Thomas. Why in the hell would you get rid of your best wide receiver? I know what everybody gonna say. Go ahead. I know you're gonna say it. Yeah. Go ahead, Q. Go ahead.
Bro, no, I agree with you on the Michael Thomas thing, man, because it's all about where his health is. If he's healthy, I wouldn't get rid of him at all, man, because you see what he did with the Atlanta game. If he's healthy enough, he restructured his deal, so he's not an issue in that way. So it depends, man. I don't know what they're going to do with it because this team is operating outside of logic. But as far as the Dennis Allen thing, Hoodie make a lot of great points on him, and it's positive and negative here. But I think when you look at the Saints defense that's ran by Dennis Allen, you're 100% right, Randolph, that he is indeed the defensive coordinator. What's really what I've noticed in my observation in covering the Saints is the fact that the defense suffered with Dennis Allen as a head coach because he didn't have the attributes needed to be meticulous enough to be a head coach and then try to be a defensive coordinator. For instance, the Saints was a top 5 run stuffing team last year and the years prior. It was difficult to run on the Saints. I remember when you couldn't get 96 yards a game on the Saints defense. And then, of course, this year they gave up, 130 something yards per game, according to the statistics against the run. Right. I mean, why did that happen? And of course, like I said, they had some issues interiorly speaking, but did the Saints, which Mickey Loomis is a guy that you can go to if you're a head coach, and you can get Mickey Loomis to go out and get you players that can come in. And they had several veteran defensive linemen that were available. You could have gotten at the league minimum that could have came in and helped the Saints with their run stuffing efforts. Hell, Malcolm Brown, who was the former New Orleans Saints defensive tackle, who sat next to David Onyemata for several years, and you've seen some of the best years out of David Onyemata, because they had a proven nose tackle next to him and not some tweener guy that's more of a defensive tackle than nose tackle. What was the vision and notice in that? So like I said, Dennis Allen has the uncanny ability to overlook things that he's tripping on. Like, you see the defense, even if the clear indication is, like, if you look at the statistics is something that you can look and verify at many times and find out what's wrong with your team, even if you're a numbers guy. The Saints have issues stopping the run up the middle. So what do the Saints? And then, of course, if you watch a lot of the footage, you'll see that alignment, like when you see a nose tackle, a big, nasty nose tackle, or even a good veteran nose tackle has the ability to occupy 2 offensive linemen. Well, if you have guys that are not able to occupy 2 offensive linemen, an extra lineman leaks out, where he's going. Where is he going? He's going to push out the linebacker to open up spots for his running back to get to. And we've seen times when you've seen Demario Davis get mushed out of the way by linemen blocking him, so running backs get to the second and third level of the Saints defense. It happened all the time. You've seen a massive implosion in the Tampa Bay game. So you're right, Dolph. He was meddling in the offense, but Dennis Allen lacks a lot of things. Pete Carmichael, these are beta guys, man. Come on, let's keep it real. These are all beta guys. There is no leader there. He's not a leader of anything. He can't even answer any questions with any determination, or even give you weighted words or something that hits you at a certain way where you can say, this guy know what he's talking about. Preach. You want to know who guys that hit with words? Listen to Coach Richard. Coach Richard, when he speaks in detail. You know what he speaks with he speaks with strength in his words and determination. He don't stutter, stumble, bumble, and featherly float over top of his words. He's a guy that you can listen to because by the impact of his words and his action and his deeds and his depth of knowledge that guy know about football, and you're willing to listen to him. Plus, he's a good communicator, a great motivator of men. Dennis Allen has the reputation inside the Saints organization as a backstabber. This is nothing new. He did this to Keenan Lewis. He did this to other players before. So he has a history of doing this type of reckless behavior. And I'm saying that Dennis Allen doesn't deserve to be a head coach in the New Orleans Saints. He doesn't. He got it by way of Sean Payton pointing at him and saying he should be my successor, when they had several more qualified members that was outside of the team that should have been in consideration for it, including guys like Peterson. So at some point, the imagination of where we're going with this team is ridiculous, bro. So I have, like I said about Dennis Allen, he can't run the head coaching job and the defense. The defense suffered. This year. They gave up 130 something yards. That is, they went from one of the top 5 to a bottom 5 run stuffing defense. The secondary now, ran by Coach Richard, was steady in what they did. Ryan Nilsson's side of things it suffered mightily. So that's why there's such a disparity between people having the faith for Dennis Allen to turn around, because the Saints are protecting them. They don't want to do what's the right thing. It's very clear and obvious. And at some point, what they're doing They setting a trap for Dennis Allen. I don't think they know they setting a trap for him, because when he come into this season, they're going to be an unbearable amount of pressure on Dennis Allen to perform and step up. And I don't think he could be able to deal with the pressure that the whole Who That Nation and all those people about to bring to him. So they setting him up for a major collapse next year. So he gonna have to do his best job as a head coach to get this team where it is. That he could be fired in the middle of the season like Hackett was.
Right.
So like I'm saying, it's just what it is, man. They made a bad bet and they don't want to fix it, but we'll fix it for them next year. They'll see.
I got two things, y'all. That I wanted to add for you, Big Q. So one thing I remember you were saying about how this year, the running game, on defense wasn't as good, right? It was around like 100 plus yards per game. But we also got to look at I think we were, I say, ranked 5 through 7 or whatever it was on passing, though. Like our passing defense was outstanding this year,
Right.
especially with the new addition of Alontae Taylor. So that was something that improved compared to what we normally see. It's usually the run game is good, the passing game is okay, but this year it actually turned out to be way better in the passing compared to the run. So maybe that was something that we focused on more this year with Chris Broussard as the defensive coordinator, because you already know. Broussard, can make them DBs great, and you already seen some improvement with this Alontae Taylor coming on the field. You seen Lattimore playing better this year as well when he came back from injury and stuff like that. So that was one thing I wanted to add. But the other thing is I wanted to tell people too about the Dennis Allen thing. Just think of this. He's a great defensive coordinator. We don't want to lose that. Or you can say, hey, we want you out here gone. Boo boo, whatever. But you also got to think of the Sean Payton situation. Remember, Sean Payton is so good at offense and good at a coach, but guess what? He can't do nothing about a defense. And guess what happened? Even though we had Sean Payton for 3 straight years, 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. Why? We scored 45 points on the board, but our defense shut the ass and allowed 50 points, and we lost. So guess what? You're telling me that the way Dennis Allen plays defense, and he just focused on his defense as a head coach and focused just on them 2 jobs, head coach and defense, and you go find somebody that knows how to run an offense, and you tell me this team can't be really good? I really think we could. I think he's just slacking an offensive coordinator that really needs to run it. And I'm guessing they thinking Pete Carmichael's that dude, but I don't know. He didn't show it last year.
Could he coexist with such a personnel? Yeah. That's the thing, though, Dolph. That's the whole thing. It's like he running the team, and because Dennis Allen, like I said, man, it's more than what meets the eye. It's like a transformer. This dude's like a Decepticon, man. He got a lot of deceptive stuff going on here. Right. It's like he lacks like the obvious leadership traits that most people. We talking like from a people standpoint. This is a people business, and he's a coach, so a coach has to be able to take his vision and place it in their head, in the minds of the players, or from different backgrounds, different ages, different experiences across the team. He's tasked with the job of not only making them visualize where he wants to go, but also communicating and taking them there. And that has to filter through the entire organization from the top to the bottom. He is the leader of the Saints team right now. He's the leader. So what you're seeing on the field is not indicative of the talent of the team, is indicative of the head coach. A head coach without a vision, you can have all the talent in the world. You can have first-round draft picks at every position and the depth to go with it. That team is not going anywhere as long as the head coach doesn't have a clear and present view on where that team needs to go. And far too often through the entire season, we've seen poor personnel changes and no adjustments made during games to impact change in a positive fashion. We've seen the team basically give up at points. We've seen it's just, the offensive coordinator at times just take guys who were flowing in the offense in the first half and take them out of the offense in almost like a self-sabotaging manner. Very, very weird. But if you're the head coach, you're supposed to be paying attention to that. And when you see your offensive coordinator going wayward, you're supposed to check him in game to affect the positive change during the game, not sit up on the press conference after the game and tell pissed off people across the Who That Nation that we had a bad day at our office. Or I have to challenge his intelligence to a degree too, for him to stand up at the halftime and tell, when a reporter asked him about what you're gonna do about Andy Dalton with 3 interceptions before half, and I'm just gonna tell him to keep doing what he's doing. Was you paying attention to what she's saying, or you just got a low IQ here? What's going on here? So some people don't deserve the jobs, or the job is too big for them. You've seen it within 3 to 4 or 5 weeks during the season that Dennis Allen was over his head. And like I told you, If he never done it before in a positive fashion, how are you supposed to believe him? How you believe a man that never done it before? How do you believe into a head coach that's going to take you into the playoffs when he never done it before? How that's what I'm saying. When you got a losing coach, what do he use as a resume, or what he has to get players who never played under him as a head coach? What do he give them to take them to make them believe in his process? Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to. They call it buying in. You got to buy in to what the man is saying. You got to buy in. And many people on the offensive side and some defensive personnel too aren't buying into what he's doing, because at many times he becomes disconnected, discombobulated. I mean, it's just amazing, man, to watch the type of stuff that we seen this past season. And the reason why I don't like Dennis Allen, because I don't like the Jameis Winston thing, but then again, I knew that he was a backstabby guy. But the other thing is, the man is over his head. Another year won't make a difference of Dennis Allen. He's not the right coach for your team. We see that, and it's resounding. That's why people are pissed at the Saints, because they're saying, why are you screwing around with this guy? Just get rid of him and move on, because we got guys on the team like Demario Davis and Cam Jordan who don't have a lot of years left to play for you at a high level. You're wasting away that time, which could be used in more of a productive manner. And that's something that I speak to vision. When we talk about vision with a head coach. So you put that head coach on top of the team with no vision, you don't have no vision. If you believe this guy's going to take you to the playoffs, and people not falling for it. So I hear what you're saying, Hoodie. I agree with a lot of things you're saying, bro. You're saying a lot of positive things about Dennis Allen. But I wouldn't be mad if they fired Dennis Allen. We could find other coordinators. I think Coach Rashard, who led the Legion of Boom, could give you a good defense. He's a better communicator than Dennis Allen is. I'm pretty sure he did a stellar job in the secondary with the Saints. We have personnel, assistant coaches underneath that can replace him. We have some really good assistant coaches. Michael Hodge, who our linebacker coach, he's an excellent coach. He did a phenomenal job in the Saints. So we have really good assistant coaches underneath these coordinator people that can move in and be promoted to positions where they can be successful. So this is the chain of keeping things productive, and I just question the vision of this coach, man.
Yeah, man. Just picking back off what you when they saw Dennis Allen was over his head. There was an interview.
Coach, you cutting in and out.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Well, when I lost Dennis Allen they did an interview and they asked him, why are you taking Alvin Kamara out on third downs? He said, we take him out because we need a better back end to pass block. And I'm like, why the hell you got him pass blocking when he's one of your better receivers going out? And right then and there, I just I lost it with it, man.
Gotcha, man. Well, look, man. Look, it's nauseum. They think it's a game. They think we go sit back and we just go take whatever they throw at us or dish at us. First of all, your ass ain't gonna go nowhere to get a better deal than you got, because you don't pay nothing. You're renovating the damn dome. You're putting seats on the damn field for what? To watch what? That damn trash and garbage you put out there this year? Nobody gonna pay to go see that. You're triple charging people to park. You're serving circus food for concessions instead. Man, look, man, I'm about to really go off, man. But look, man, it's been a great show. I want to thank everybody for joining me, Hoodie, Big Q, MOD, Jerry, Demetrius, of course, my co-host, my big brother, the one and only Coach Rock, man. I want to thank everybody in the chat. And before we go, I got one question. For everybody in the panel, Coach, I'm gonna come to you first. One personnel move you would like to see the Saints make this offseason. Not coaching, player wise.
I mean, the biggest thing is they got to decide who's gonna be the quarterback.
Okay, I got you. All right, Hoodie.
All right, so what I want to see change, I want to see Hoodie, Jube, and Big Q get hired as the new Saints reporters, to ask some really good questions,
That'd be a quick in and out there.
One press conference, not even the whole press conference. Y'all gone.
hey, I can be a really good reporter.
Won't make a second question.
Hey, I can make some really good questions. I'll be asking some really good ones, and they're gonna try to, no, we're not gonna go there. I'm be like, I ain't going there with you, mother. You tell me what's up with this. But no, number one, like Coach Rice said, QB is something that I would like to see. But another position that I really want to see this offseason, is running back, because we're not gonna have AK for probably a good 6 to 8 games, most likely, because of the suspension. So I want to see what they're gonna do, and I do recommend the Saints signing Benjamin back this offseason and see what he would take, for a small price, because I think Benjamin's got some, good game in him.
He's still on the contract, hoodie.
The Benjamin.
Yeah, he's still on the contract. He's on the contract for next season.
Because I know we signed them this offseason. I mean, this late in the season. I didn't know if we signed him to a contract or not.
Yeah. Last I read, he was on the contract for next season.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. OG, what you got?
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go with Coach Rock and Hoodie on this. You said one thing, well, yeah, definitely in need of a quarterback, because I already know who's not going to be our quarterback, and everybody was talking about Derek Carr, so you can scratch that off your list. But I do want to see Saints Uptown, my big bro, as defensive coordinator next year, because he knows about defense. So I know he'll be a great fit in that Saints organization. He can revive and make this New Orleans Saints defense a whole lot better than what we've seen.
You can hire me as water boy.
Yeah. How high Dolph 17 and Coach Rock as offensive coordinators?
Nah, you don't want to hire us.
The Godfather, Big Q, is gonna be the head coach.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
But before BQ leave, Dolph 17, he gotta do two people for us.
I need Mickey.
Leave.
I need to ask Mickey a question.
Gotta do it.
Hey Q, let Q call your boy Mickey. Let me ask Mickey a quick question before you get out of here, man.
All right, bro. Let me see if I can put him on the phone here.
Go ahead and get
after that, get Rev Saint on the phone.
What's going on here, guys? What's happening here? What's going on, Randolph? How you doing, brother? What's happening, man?
How you doing, Mickey? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you're not gonna appreciate it for long, because I'm about to ask you the real.
Oh, well, hold on now. Hold on,
hold on. Mickey, we keep it real here. Ain't no ass kissing. Ain't no scratching your ass now.
Hold on, Randolph. Hold on here. Right? Hold on. Let me ask you something. This is not going to be a toughie, is it?
No. Mickey, look at here. First thing first, the whole Who That Nation want to know, why in the hell did you bring Dennis Allen back?
Well, that's an easy one. Let me tell you something, Randolph. First of all, we've been interviewing him for 14 years, and he's a good guy. And we had a 6-hour interview with Dennis Allen, and we came to the thought process. We thought he'd be good for the team, and he had a little tough year. We blame it on injuries. Injuries are the reason why we just kind of, we didn't do as well as we supposed to, but. We're working on a plan, and we're going to be all right. The second year we're going to have a lot of success. So just go to the website and buy your tickets.
That ain't happening, Mickey. That ain't happening. So you say injuries. Last year's team went 9-8, and they had more injuries than this year's team. And this year's team was more talented than last year's team. So how do you explain that, Mickey?
Well, I mean, first of all, Randall, that's a great question. I would say, it's that. Let me tell you, every year is different. So you can't judge the years based on like that. It doesn't work like that. So I mean, this year we had a lot of injuries at the quarterback position. Poor Jameis. He had his injury. And Andy Dalton did a pretty good job. So I mean, it just happened. We finished 7-10. We're very disappointed. But listen, I tell you, we'll be back in the game. We're going to come back, and but next year we'll be a lot better. I promise you.
Well,
okay.
now I gotta ask Mickey.
Hold on, G. Hold on, G.
Okay.
Mickey.
Yes, sir.
I know Sean is one of your best friends in the world.
Oh, he's great. He's terrific.
But listen, Mickey, let me help you. You've been in New Orleans long enough to know how we are. You got the pulse of the city.
Yeah.
You know, when you quit on us, that's it. He didn't resign. He quit.
Hold on now, Randolph. Hold on now. You're not being fair to Sean.
The hell with Sean. He quit on it. He quit on it, and I'm telling you now.
All fiddlysticks. I'll tell you something. You can't do that.
You bet not cower down to him and not get the right capital back for this team and for the future. That's what you bet not do. You gotta grow a pair, man.
Well, hold on. Hold on. I draw the line. That's borderline disrespectful. You know, I'm not gonna tolerate that. Oh well, listen. Listen. I don't know if you're paying attention, but I said that. I put out there. I went out there. God damn it! I put out there to the media. I said we'll pick up a couple of pair of first round picks. I don't know if you know that. I said a first rounder and more. More means we're gonna be having multiple picks for Coach Payton. We know we're working on, but then again, Sean and I are cool. We've been working together for a very long time, but I'm telling you, we're going to do all right, Randolph. I know you're upset. I'm upset too. That's why I took a week off.
You're not upset.
I am. I took a week off. I had to let the emotions subside.
Take a week off. You told us you was going to take a week off to evaluate the team.
Well, I changed my mind.
And you come back in 2-3 days and tell us Dennis Allen coming back, but you don't make no other personnel move. And when you finally make personnel move, you find the tight ends coach that turned Jawan Dawson into a starting tight end and the best tight end on your team after he was a converted wide receiver in just 2 years, and you keep Dan Rizzi garbage ass as the special teams coach. There's a problem going on LI Drive. It's you and it's Dennis Lodger. Miss Benson is putting all that trust in y'all, and y'all are just taking the money. You ain't doing your damn job like you did when you first got here. You done lost that passion and fire. You need to step down, and you need to turn it over to Kyle Haley before we lose Kyle to another team. So go ahead and say what you want, Mickey. And thank you for being on.
Well, goddamn, that's
that mouthful right there.
That's a lot, man. Let me tell you that. How the hell will I respond to that? I mean, I just figured we're gonna be all right. I mean, Randolph, I know you're hot. It seems like you're very mad. You know what I'm saying?
I am mad.
Yeah, you sound very mad.
I do not want to go back to the 70s, the early 80s, and look, we're not gone. We're not selling it for mediocrity no more. No 5 wins, no 4 wins.
We believe in Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen told me in a private conversation that we fired Dan Roussard because Dan was sneaking around pissing in people's cornflakes. So we had to get him out of there. That was weird. So, I mean, at the end of the day, let me tell you something. We kept the right coaching staff. We're going to be fine. And listen, let me tell you something. Those same guys that you criticizing Randolph, let me tell you one thing. Those guys won many games with Sean Payton with just 1 year. And it was a change. It was a change of leadership. Guys got to get used to that. You got to understand. It's going to take a little time, but we're going to be fine.
Mickey, the Giants got a new coach that went to the playoffs. What's next?
Well, that's the Giants. Every situation is different.
And the Saints you have better talent than the Giants roster-wise. So what's the excuse?
Well, excuses.
You can't play me, Mickey.
Injuries.
You can't play me. I'm not selling it for it. Mickey, good night.
Yeah, you mean to tell me you're not following for the injuries?
No, we're not falling for injury. We're not renewing those season tickets. We're not playing them high-ass concession stands. And we ain't buying no more.
Now, hold on here. I don't have any power over the concession stands. I don't have nothing to do with that. That's Dennis Lucius stuff. I'm making
Hey, Mickey.
We'll talk to
Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey, this is Hoodie Jude.
Hey, Hoodie, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm all by your side, man. I love Dennis Allen, man. Can I get some free pass, to be on the field this year?
Well, I'm not in control of that. You're going to have to go and talk to the guy below me. I forgot his name. But listen, I don't handle free tickets.
Oh, that's a bullshit, man. You're the GM.
Hey, Mickey, Brother Jerry here. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. What is it, Brother Jerry? Good to hear from you.
That's Brother Jerry.
Now listen, Brother Jerry, hold on.
I got a question.
Yeah, but hold on, Brother Jerry. First, I was listening to the show early, and I heard you cursing. And listen, I'm not going to answer any questions if they got cursing in them.
I meant
I'm
what I
not gonna
said,
answer
Mickey.
any questions if you got cursing in them. Now, I'm not gonna do that.
Mickey, I
My
went
grandchild
full
is
rant
listening to
Thursday
this.
night if you wasn't there. I did go full rant on you. But I gotta ask you this question. Why did you bring back Pete Carmichael as our OC? Everybody wanted to get rid of him, especially me. Why did y'all bring Pete Carmichael back, bro? I want to know.
Well, we did it because, listen, Pete Carmichael is a wealth of information. You know, he runs a good system. It just had an off year. I mean, we had injuries at the quarterback position. We had injuries, and that's just what it is. We brought him back, and you'll see a better job next year.
17, 18 years? Come on, Mickey. It's time for some new stuff, man. It's time for new blood, bro. It's time. I'm tired of this.
My final question,
buddy system, man.
The final question, Mickey, is this: everybody in New Orleans and state of Louisiana, who that nation wants to know, how much are y'all paying Dennis Allen?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a state secret.
Man, look at him, man. I want to thank Big Q. I want to thank Big Q Loomis.
Where you at, Ram Saint? Where you at?
I want to thank Hoodie Jew, MOD, Coach Rock, Demetrius. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us tonight.
Have a great night, Mickey.
Man, it's been fun, man. Again, man, much love to my brother.
Thank you, guys.
The Big Q.
Let me tell you something.
The OG. Again, my co-host, Coach Rock, MOD, man. Thank you for blessing us, man, with your presence first time on, my brother.
Love you, big bro.
Man, we appreciate it, man. You family, you welcome anytime. We looking forward to coming over there with you guys, man. Just let us know, man. And listen, family, we about to get out here. Big Q, brother, I want to thank you as always, man, for everything you do for me.
Shout out, bro.
For all the advice you give me, man, for answering any question I got, man. I want to thank you for everything, my brother. And
thank y'all, bro.
To the chat, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all know, look, it got 34 of us in the chat. I need 34 likes. If it's your first time, subscribe.
Same to you, brother.
And I need everybody to share, man. Listen, we all family, baby. We all part of Who That Nation. All we want when it's all said and done, we just want our team to be successful and win. That's it. That's it. And we just passionate about our team like every other fan base. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
With our podcast, we're not fighting each other and stabbing each other in the back. You know, I'm just saying I ain't gonna throw those names out, you know. They know who they is, you know. But with that being said, man, like we always go out, love and who that. And I'll see everybody Wednesday. We out. Keeping it real, Who That Sports Pod, legendary Coach Rock, Go 17. Let's rock. Who that? Boss kick, black and gold. Let's go. First and goal from the one. Best believe we go punch. Punching in, get them punch. With them Saints, watch us march. Down the field, down your throat. Keeping it real, Who That Sports. Breaking news, interviews, open lines just for you. Call in, join in, Pale Nation, just win. B.I., Mount Zion, Coach Green, oh my, CJ, JV, Trick or Trade, Jose. Keep it real, baby. Keep it real, baby.